right, so we just had the latest episode of ReZero, and I will start things off and say I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this episode. I'll just lay all my cards on the table. One, I think they stretched out this episode a little longer than it needed to have been. Like half the episode, I literally was looking like they took half the episode, almost 15 minutes, just to decide who's going to talk on the megaphone, the media, they say, and, you know, let people know what's going on. And it was like, as if like, okay, should we do it? Who's gonna do it? Oh, Subaru should do it. And I'm like, can we get somewhere with this? Come on, people. So finally, it's like, all right, Subaru's gonna be the one that says something. All right, that's cool. But I was just sitting here like, why is it taking so long? Like, I honestly don't know how many chapters this was in the manga for them to decide upon this. I mean, it felt like they tried to stretch this out. The whole episode was first half, figure out who's gonna do it, and the other half, Subaru actually saying his announcement, and then pretty much the results of that. And that's it. That was the episode. So this was definitely a departure from the normal ReZero stuff, because a lot of times there's suffering, there's action, there's something along the lines that's happening here in ReZero to make me like, oh my lord, what's gonna happen now? This episode was like, can they get on with it? For the majority of it, that's kind of how I felt. You're more than welcome to check out my reaction on Patreon, because it is there, and hey, the link is down below. But I will have to say, I definitely was dismayed by this episode for the most part. But then I will have to say the speech that Subaru gave, although the beginning part I'm like, is this kid gonna get anywhere? Here we have the descending, him talking, people losing hope. He's trying to say he's like one of them, blah, blah, blah. But then he's like, all right, I need you guys' faith. And it would just escalate it, which I'm glad that it happened in that way. And I knew at some point it was gonna get like that, where he's going to eventually reach the hearts of people, because this is an anime. I mean, they wouldn't have this happen if it didn't happen. He returns from death, so more than likely, if it failed, he might have a retry. But I will have to say that his speech did lift things up. And of course, the ending of it, where we actually got our main man, the redhead himself, comes in, is like, yeah, I'm sorry for being late to the party, but let's get this party started. So let's talk about Al. So they cut off Al last week to make it look like, oh man, is he part of the witches cult? Because if you saw my analysis last week, I specifically was saying, all right, is Al a good guy or a bad guy? And with the actions that he's done before, it seemed like, oh man, is there a possibility of him being on the witch cult side? I had said either A, he came upon the mirror and the communication, or either B, he is part of the witches cult and was like kind of told on himself. Good thing is, he actually cleared a whole lot of the witches cult and found it. I was like, dang dude, okay, I didn't know he was that strong. But the good thing is, he was able to find it, and he was able to relay the message of Amelia. Not only that, I will have to say Al did a very good job. It made it sound like he was trying to rub up against Subaru and be like, are you really worthy of trying to give this message? But to me, if you read between the lines, it was like Al was trying to make Subaru's resolve stronger. Because, you know, at first Subaru's like, am I really worthy of doing this? And Al was like, are you worthy of doing it? Are you really? And by him actually confronting Subaru and talking him like, you know, are you the best? Are you one of the ones that should do this? It made Subaru remember all the things that happened in the past, his struggles, his fights, how he was able to raise the spirits of all kinds of different people. You know, people like Garfield that follow him now, who at one point actually was kind of like an enemy. So Subaru was able to find that strength within to actually be like, okay, yeah, I am worthy enough to actually do this. Oh yeah, I did beat one of the witches called Sloth. All right, you know what? Okay, I can do it. So to me, definitely Al was the MVP on this episode, because not only was he really strong and get rid of a lot of the guys in the beginning frames of the episode, but then he was able to relay the message from Emilia, and he was able to kind of make Subaru like, okay, all right, I got this. So, and Al just went back and sat down. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to, okay, I'll just listen to what he's gotta say. Go for Al. You know, he's really the GOAT on this episode, I will have to say. More so than Subaru, but he definitely was the GOAT here. Now, speaking of GOATs, the fact that Reinhardt came in the way he did, he's like, all right, guys, we're here and we're ready to party. So let's get this started. So Reinhardt just comes in there, all invigorated. He's got whatever issues between him and his father, not necessarily worked out, but kind of taking a back seat while he goes through this. I really feel like Reinhardt's going to be a big central figure in the coming fights, because the way that the ending theme song kind of shows Reinhardt like trying to lift up Subaru and trying to pick him up. Okay, he's got to be very important. You know, maybe there's many times where we will get to the points where Subaru does die and return from death, but Reinhardt's always there to be like, pick him up, and or Subaru's able to kind of order Reinhardt to watch out for this, do this, and so then Reinhardt actually gets the upper hand. Yeah, Reinhardt's definitely going to be a central figure here, and I will kind of take a different tangent. Like I was talking about before, Subaru's speech, although it felt like, okay, why was the whole episode about his speech? I think it was necessary, because when this is all said and done and over, this is gonna catapult Subaru's name on the main stage. Like, it was already rumors around that, you know, oh, this is the guy that kind of dealt with sloth, but now that he's made this big speech and the whole city has heard him and they're fired up, if and when this is actually taken care of and they get past this point, he's definitely going to be known far and wide. And if he's going to be known even further, that might help Emilia's standing as one of the royal candidates. Even though this episode was kind of like one of those, why did we spend so much time on this, figuring out the speech and who's going to say it and then the actual speech, it's a necessary evil. And that's why I said I had a love-hate relationship with this episode, because it is a necessary evil. Had to have an episode like this just for the future of ReZero, for all the dynamics and stuff that's going to happen, although that might not come to pass until after everything that happens here. So tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, but I believe this is why this episode happened the way that it did. Overall, it's ReZero. Things have been amazing overall in this season, but like I said, I would love to hear what you guys got to say in the comments down below. But of course, do not forget to like the video, and if you enjoy the videos that we've been doing, you know, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I would love to see you guys around and hear more of your guys' opinions on things. And like I said previously, of course, the Patreon link is down below. In the meantime, you guys be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I will see you in the future. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.